Hey, you gotta look for the silver linings here.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias, and with me, as always, is my producer, Steve Granado. Steve, what's going on?
Doubleheader sweep. I'll take it. I'll take it. In Boston, every day I will take that. Hey, thanks so much for clicking on the show here today, guys. We have a whole bunch of information for you coming up later on in the show. We need to talk about Clarke Schmidt, who's going to start today's Game 3 in Boston. Of course, preview that pitching matchup for you, as we always do. We also need to talk about Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Big prospect coming out of Japan. Cashman watched him the other day. We have to talk about it coming up a little bit later. But Stacey, Yankees sweep the doubleheader. Got the games in.
Yes. Yeah.
And it ended up being a pretty nice day in Boston.
It was. Yeah, the weather was totally wrong.
Yeah. But B, took them both. Took them both and fought for them, man. Really fought for them. Winning both those games puts Boston at 73 and 72, which ties them with the Yankees. And puts Boston 7 games back when they need every single win. And we were talking about it before the series started on Monday's show, how hey, look, Yankees aren't playing for a ton right now, but if they can do one bit of damage against the Red Sox this season and be the final nail in the coffin, I'll take that.
Mm-hmm. Always. Considering how Boston's been beating up on them all season, I am shocked, but pleasantly surprised that they took this doubleheader. Because Boston still is kind of trying to weasel their way in there, and this could really, I spoke about the Yankees possibly being a spoiler for the Blue Jays coming up, but this would be nice as well.
Yeah, I mean, however many you can knock out, you knock them out, right? You take it when you can get it. Again, you're looking for silver linings here at this point, man. You're looking for something. If Jason Dominguez needs Tommy John surgery here potentially, then I'll take a doubleheader sweep, as a consolation prize.
You're right.
Let's talk about both those games, Stacey. Game 1, the day game, that was a nail biter, and it did not look good to start at all. Nick Pivetta was on one, struck out 10. But then ran into problems there in the 6th inning. DJ LeMahieu, again, man, coming through. Big 2-run double. Gleyber brings home a run with an RBI single to take a 3-2 lead. Like that's your backbone right there. And if you're looking for silver linings head into 2024, every one of these good moments for DJ LeMahieu and Gleyber Torres is just making you feel a little bit better for next season.
Yep, because you need those guys to do things while other guys aren't playing, like Rizzo, and other guys aren't quite hitting right now, like Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. So you need those two guys to do things.
Well, what do you want Aaron Judge to do? Not intentionally walk to below the bases? Keep doing that.
No, yes, that's. I mean, at least he's doing that. He's not going up there and flailing away and looking awful at the plate. But you need those guys to do what they're doing. I mean, Gleyber's had a solid season.
Great year. He's batting like 270.
Yeah.
What do you want, man?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the pitching side of things. They had to kind of reshuffle a little bit because of the doubleheader. They had Randy Vasquez start it. Gave up a Rafael Devers homer, who hasn't.
I know,
and
really.
Then a run scores on a wild pitch in the bottom of the 4th. But look at that line: 3 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. I don't want anything else out of Randy Vasquez here deep into the season. I'll take that any day.
Yeah, a lot of 3s and 2s in there.
A lot of 3s and 2s. The Johnny Brito line returns. 2 1/3, 3 hits, no runs, a walk, 2 Ks. The Johnny Brito line lives. And man, to have Vasquez and Brito come in those spots and step up to give the Yankees a chance. I mean, again, what else do you want out of these guys here? I mean, you got to remember how deep into the season we are with guys who aren't typically prepared to be facing, this type of competition level this deep into the year.
That's true. It's just been such a strange year, and for them to come out and do what they did, they kept the Yankees in the game, so that's good.
Yeah, they did, and Clay Holmes almost didn't. He really lost it there in the 9th inning. But speaking of Gleyber Torres earlier and having things that you're looking forward to, What a turn, man. Turn that double play to end the game on Alex Verdugo with the bases juice. That was massive. I mean, massive.
That could have been a farking nightmare. I'll say that. Thank you, Alex Verdugo, for swinging at the first pitch against a guy who couldn't find the plate for the entire inning. Thank you so much for that, because Red Sox fans I follow on Twitter were not happy about that, because isn't that the worst as a baseball fan when you see a pitcher is completely losing it and a guy comes up after watching one or two guys before him walk and then he swings the first pitch and something like that happens and you just want to like scream. Yeah, we were on the other end of it this time, so it was really great. Thank you again, Verdugo.
Yeah, I don't know what he was swinging at first pitch. He's usually a pretty good plate discipline kind of guy, and I've always liked Alex Verdugo, so kind of weird to see him go after that pitch. But hey, Yankees get the benefit 3-2 final in Game 2. A little bit more distance, but I mean, all the way to the bitter end there. It was another tough fought win, 4-1 final. Cutter Crawford was running into issues early, and then he kind of got bailed out. I shouldn't say bailed out. He loaded the bases and then ended up settling down to strike out Austin Wells, and then got IK after rolling the inning into double play. So he definitely kind of turned a corner there in the first inning, but the Yankees just couldn't get anything there in the first. Tough.
Yeah, it's disappointing when you load the bases with no outs, and that happens. That's just so. That's a gut punch, but it happened in the first, It's not like that. It happened in the 8th or the 9th when they were down a run and you really needed something. So as annoying as it was, what are you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, that's just that's so 2023, to load the bases in the 8th and then not score. Carlos Rodon, man, I mean, he went 5 innings, gave up 1 earned. He pitched good, not great again. He's still struggling to put hitters away. That's definitely been the issue. Gave up the homer to Rafaela, first career bomb for him. But his offense backed him up a little bit there. I really liked that at bat in the top of the 5th from Estevan Florial, man. Really battled hard. Knocked out Cutter Crawford after fighting off an inside fastball for that RBI single. I mean, that was a really tough at bat for Flo, and you love to see it there.
Yes, I was very happy with that. I was like, yay, Flo, yay. Okay, good job. Get that out of the way. Done. Boom. Yeah, it was good. And you always like knocking a pitcher out too, like having your hit be the one that knocks the starter out. That's got to feel good too.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, it was fouling off some tough pitches there, some corner off the edges, like some good breaking stuff from Cutter Crawford there. Again, he had kind of settled down at that point. But yeah, that's just massive for Flo, man. That was his first hit in the majors this season. Brings in a run, ties the game. He had a nice little game, ended up striking out there late in the contest, but didn't matter much. Was it 2nd and 3rd with either nobody out or 1 out late in the game? I believe. Yeah, but he reached base 3 times. I mean, he walked, he drove in that run with a single, and he got hit by a pitch. So that's Florial in a nutshell right there. And then the eventual game-winning run to the Jake Bauers bases loaded, force out. You'll take that. Gleyber scores for the Yankees to take a 2-1 lead in the 6th. But the story there was the pen. The pen really showed up. How about Zach McAllister and Anthony Misevich, man? Just huge.
I did a joke, and I can't remember what movie it's from. It's a sports movie, and it was someone saying, good job, whatever your name is. And I kept tweeting that after all these guys finished their innings, because I mean, who are these guys coming out of nowhere? McAllister, how do you say Misevich? Misevich. I should know that. I had a teacher with a similar last name. And even Bowman. Like, what is happening?
Yeah,
like all these guys coming out of nowhere. Like all these guys we were making fun of. Like, who are the Yankees calling up? Who are they signing? Who are these dudes? And hey, Fenway, Boston. I know Boston isn't as good as they've been, but against the Yankees this year, they're basically playing them like they're the Orioles and the Rays. So good job by those guys.
Massive job by Zach McAllister. Massive job by Anthony Misevich. We were talking about them with the subtexters over the last couple of days. I've been watching them this season, of course, keeping my eye on the Rail Riders this season. So huge job. And then just a little icing on the cake there in the 9th. Gleyber, the RBI knock, put a nice cap on the end of his day. And then the catcher interference, making for 1 final score. Wrap it up. Doubleheader sweep. Adios. We'll see you tomorrow. You love to see it. There were a bunch of roster moves here. As I mentioned, we were texting subtexters all day long with all these roster moves. The tough news, Stacey, Jonathan Loaizaga, essentially his season is done. 15-day IL, right elbow inflammation.
whoever has the voodoo doll who's poking the pins into the elbows of the Yankee doll, that could you stop? Like, we've had enough. It's bad enough that the pitchers have bad elbows, and Dominguez, just it's enough now. The season's almost over. Just stop.
Yeah, we're closing in. We are limping to the finish line. The corresponding move for that, of course, was Zach McAllister. As we mentioned, he had his contract signed and up with the big club. They put Anthony Rizzo and Nestor Cortez on the 60 days. That doesn't really do anything. It just clears some space. And then the Yankees also claimed Luke Weaver from the Seattle Mariners. Luke Weaver is a bit of a journeyman. He's been all over the place. Royals, Reds, Diamondbacks, Mariners, now Yankees. He's really not put it together at the major league level. He's mostly started in his big league career, but he has certainly struggled to put it together as a whole. I got to imagine this is just an innings eater at this point, especially with Sevy going down, right?
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so lots of moves being made. I mean, again, apologies to the subtexters, man. We have been texting you guys like crazy. What was it, 9 times we've texted you over the last 3 days?
There's so many moves.
Roster moves.
Yeah, there's so many moves going on, yeah.
So much. Again, Yankees are kind of just limping to the finish line. Drop your questions for Fan Mail Friday down below. I mentioned subtext. If you want to skip the line for Fan Mail Friday, all you got to do is join subtext and guarantee answers to your questions either on the show or in text form. And, of course, you get all those roster moves from us as well and everything you could want to know about the Yankees the moment it happens. Episode description has all the information and a free trial in there as well, so check it out. All right, we're going to step aside and we come back. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Why is that a name you need to know? Find out next.
The NFL season is here, and there's incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. That means you get to see games that are out of market, which is pretty cool. And now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy to use, and you can bet on everything from spreads to player props and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Back here on Locked On Yankees, Game 3 in Boston tonight, 7:10 first pitch. You can listen to that on the SiriusXM app. Download the SiriusXM app today. To the Everydayers, coming up on tomorrow's show, every Yankees injury in one place. We got to talk about it. Maybe we'll rank them a little bit, worst to best. I don't know if there's a best injury.
Well,
I don't think that exists.
I think most impactful to least impactful. Yeah, we can do that.
Maybe that. And one that hurt the most, maybe. I have a feeling Stace is going to say Jason Dominguez. Anyway, that's coming up on tomorrow's show, so make sure to hit subscribe on either audio or video. All right, so we've been teasing this the last couple of days here. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Why is that a name you need to know? Well, let me tell you. So, of course, the other day, there was some headlines. The Yankees are interested in this guy. And maybe that's the first time you hear of him. Maybe this is the first time you're hearing of him. So, look, don't take too much stock into this. But it is interesting that Cashman was in Japan to watch him. Look, he wasn't the only exec there. There were a handful of execs to watch this kid as we kind of near the end of the season. So why were there so many execs? Why have there been so many scouts? Look, if you follow international baseball, this is a name, right? This is a big name. This is the premier name coming to the States in 2024, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He's a 25-year-old right-handed pitcher. He pitches currently for the Orix Buffaloes. That's the NPBL, the Nippon Professional Baseball League. You may remember him from Team Japan this past World Baseball Classic. Of course, that was a super stacked pitching staff. Shohei, Yamamoto, Roki Sasaki, like that. This is like a stupid pitching staff, right? Roki is obviously the next one. That's the next big one. He's way, way younger. He's still got a couple of years, but that's the next one after Yamamoto. And Cashman was there, as we mentioned, Stace. He threw a no-hitter while Cashman was there. So, again, there were a lot of execs there.
Right. Putting on
So
a show. Gotta love it.
You gotta put it on the show. Put it on the show for these guys. Boy, did he. Here's his stuff. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about him. Of course, you know, he's a right-hander. He's a starting pitcher. Just turned 25, I believe, in August. So he's still fresh, a young buck, but one of the top guys, if not the top guy, top starting pitcher in the Nippon League. He's got a very simple delivery. He has a little hitch in his delivery, but nothing crazy, and he throws 4 pitches. Comes at you with a mid-90s fastball. He can rush it up into the upper 90s, 98, 99 if he's gotta. He throws a cutter. He has that patented Japanese splitter in the low 90s and a big 12-6 rainbow-style curve, so it kind of loops up and comes right back down. And the big thing about Yamamoto, Stace, is command. He's got all his pitches dialed in at this point. They are very confident. They, meaning every scout, every person who's watched this guy throw, that this guy can command all 4 pitches, which is a rarity. At 25, he slots in to be pretty much a 2 in almost every staff in the major leagues right now because of his command and his walk rate, which is extremely low. Those kind of go hand in hand. Not only that, but he limits home runs on a massive scale. This guy just has not been hit hard over the last few years. He's won the Nippon League's Cy Young Award, their version of it. He's won their MVP award. He's the front runner for this season. So, Stace, does this all sound good? This sounds all like good stuff, right?
Yes. Especially, I love splitters. That's like my favorite pitch. And I loved Tanaka's splitter every time we threw it. And I mean, we always talk about how much we love pitching and pitches and all that. And the splitter just gets me every time. I love it so much. And I want to see his splitter now.
Well, here's the thing, Stacy. I was trying to think, okay, obviously he's good, but why would he fit on the Yankees? Well, A, they don't got a splitter. Yankees don't have a splitter. So to have a guy with that wipeout style pitch, which has completely taken over Japanese pitching. Every single pitcher on Team Japan, by the way, threw a splitter and threw a good one.
They were all amazing. Watching the WBC and watching those guys, I was just like, I can't wait for some of them to come over here because that's going to be fun.
Yeah, the splitter has taken over baseball, especially in Japan, and with the influx of Japan talent into the U.S., it's here. It's here to stay. So, yes, the Yankees could use a splitter. What I thought here, Stace, is he's got 4 pitches and he's got command of them all. 3 of those pitches are either a fastball or a fastball variation with the splitter, the heater, the 4-seamer, and the cutter. So 3 of his 4 pitches are essentially built off of a fastball. Now, what do the Yankees do really good on the pitching front? What do they teach really, really good? Oh, yeah, the slider. And what is a slider, Stacy, but just a fastball variation? I think that could be a huge selling point for the Yankees. They can point to multiple guys. They can look at Greg Weissert and say, look what we did with him. He was not going to make it. Not going to make it. And we taught him this slider. We helped him develop this slider. You can point to multiple guys. Look at this slider. Don't you want to throw this pitch? That's a huge pitch, for lack of a better word, for a guy like this. Right. Why else would the Yankees want to go after him other than, of course, he's a good talent? Well, this season, the Yankees have issued the most walks in the American League East. A low walk rate sounds pretty good to me. They've allowed the second most home runs in the AL East behind Boston. A guy that doesn't give a home run sounds pretty good to me. Of course, let alone that the Yankees are losing a bunch of starting pitching. Of course, Frankie Montas, was he ever really here?
Right.
Luis Severino's done. Domingo Germán likely done. Don't think he's coming back next season. I wouldn't anticipate that at all. No. So for the Yankees, with, in their heads, as for hitting the all devilish luxury tax that ruins everybody's lives, they have a little bit of money to spend right here. They do. And they need pitching. They're going to need pitching next season. Just saying.
They're going to need a lot of pitching next year.
But how scary would a Cole, Yamamoto, and potential bounce back Rodon be?
Yeah. Like we might see the rotation that they were expecting this year with Nestor sandwiched in there somewhere. Like that was what everyone was hoping the top three in the rotation would be. And that could be fun seeing Cole with Yamamoto and a better Rodon.
Yeah. I mean, if you can push Rodon to 3 and have Nestor 4, I want Nestor Cortez to be the 4th starter. That means things are going right.
Yeah.
Right. That's exactly what you want. Right now, Nestor needs to pitch like a 3 for next season, which can you expect that out of him? I don't know. I really don't know. But as far as moving forward with the rotation, it looks so much better with a guy like Yamamoto in the 2 spot, pushing Nestor to 4, Schmidt to 5, and Michael King as a 6 if you need it depth guy. Throw him back into the pen.
Right. Instead of relying on or needing to rely on King being stretched out as a starter. I mean, he's doing fine, but yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious. I'm curious how much the Yankees are looking into this. There have been reports saying that they are very interested and ready to throw the checkbook at him. When you look at the rest of the free agent class, there are some names like Blake Snell, Aaron Nola, Jordan Montgomery, Jack Flaherty, Sonny Gray. I know a lot of those will be reunions, but there is a possibility to get some of those guys. But this is at this point, save Blake Snell with the obvious track record in the majors. Probably the next best guy available, especially the youth behind him. Yes, there's posting fees. Yes, all that's luxury tax, yada, 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 money, money, money. Yankees have it. And if the Yankees want to be, like Stacey keeps calling for, the real evil empire here, go after it, right?
Yeah.
Go after it.
Yep.
Let us know how you're feeling about Yamamoto down below in the comment section. We'll step aside one more time. When we come back, Clarke Schmidt and the Yankees trying to take the series in Boston.
Everyone should be empowered to care for themselves and their loved ones during the unexpected. That's why our new sponsor, Jace Medical, offers the Jace Case. The Jace Case provides 5 life-saving antibiotics for emergency use and gives you peace of mind so that you are not just hoping that you have access to medication in an emergency. Jace Medical makes sure you have the medication in hand. Jace Medical is simple. They handle everything from the online evaluation to licensed pharmacy medication delivery and ongoing consultation and care. So don't get caught unprepared. Save more than $360 by getting these life-saving antibiotics with Jace Medical, plus an additional $20 off by using code LOCKEDON at checkout at Jace Medical. That's JASE medical.com, and the promo code is LOCKEDON.
Back now on Locked On Yankees. SiriusXM is the place to listen to tonight's Yankees game in Boston. They'll get at least half a day off here after the doubleheader on Tuesday. Tanner Houck takes on Clarke Schmidt. And Stacey, I wanted to talk about Clarke Schmidt here today. We have kind of sang his praises here over the latter half of the season. And I wanted to ask you, and maybe this can broaden out to a bigger discussion now, do you think Clarke Schmidt's done enough to start in 2024?
Yes, I do. I mean, he'll be the 5th starter, but I think he's done enough to basically be penciled in as the 5th, and then the Yankees can figure out what they're doing with 2 through 4, because Cole's going to be number 1. I feel like the rotation is going to be Cole, Schmidt, and then whoever they fit there in the middle.
That's fair. I don't think he'll leapfrog King if King's in the rotation next year, right? Because Schmidt's done it longer at this point.
Yes. Sorry. A loud motorcycle was going by. In case you guys heard a noise in the background, I had to mute there.
I feel like Schmidt would take the 4 over King, right? And put King 5.
They could do that. Yeah. Depending on who they don't get in free agency.
Yamamoto. Don't assume Yamamoto in the rotation at this point.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's Clarke's been there all year. He hasn't missed a start, right? I'm not crazy.
Yeah, no, I don't think he has. I don't
He's
think
been there
he
every
has.
day.
Yeah.
Every 5 days, Clark's taking the ball.
Yeah. He's
It's
like
kind of
the
a
one,
miracle.
him and Cole have been like the solid dudes all year.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that Clarke Schmidt has been better than Carlos Rodon. Did anybody have that? No.
No.
No, that's a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just been thinking about Clarke Schmidt these days. Just it's been a journey for him. It's been a journey to get to this point. And again, he's kind of just like we've talked about it before, but like he's kind of just done this quietly without complaining. Hasn't he's just going out there and pitching, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And, improving, like having a little bit of setbacks there, but, improving to where he's pretty much guaranteed 5 innings at least, and occasionally a little bit past that. And then, he had that one start where he actually went into 6, and it was like, ooh, okay, he's finally getting to that point where he's pitching a little longer into games, and it's not a chore. Because it was we talk about it all the time. It was a chore watching him at the beginning of the season when he was really trying to get himself into the rotation, because at that point it was kind of like him and Herman were kind of the ones that they thought would battle for the last spot, and they were expecting maybe Montas to come back, and they were hoping Rodon would come back earlier and Severino would come back earlier, and all these things just kept happening. And Clarke Schmidt, good old Clarke Schmidt, reliable Clarke Schmidt, has been there the whole time, and
it's kind of like, hey, I'm here. I'm here too.
I'm here. I'm still here. And we joke about it all the time. We didn't expect him to last this long in the rotation. He's just been a rock.
Yeah, he has. Stace mathematically has about 3 starts left here. 15 games left, including this one. So Schmidt has mathematically divided by 5, 3. Is there anything that Clarke Schmidt could do to get him out of consideration for the rotation in 2024?
No. He could even have 3 bad starts here, and I think the Yankees would be like, he did enough of a good job for us the entire season that this is fine. He's just running out of gas. I think they would think that would be the problem. I don't think he could do anything that would knock him out of the rotation next year.
Yeah, of course, save losing an arm.
Look, don't even put that out into the universe. So long as it's not his
throwing arm.
Don't even put that out into the universe with the way things have gone for the 2023 Yankees.
Yeah.
I feel like it feels like the Naked Gun. I feel like a tiger might come out and attack someone in the middle of the infield at this point. So
yeah. No, we're getting close to that here. Getting close. How far away is the Boston Zoo?
Yeah. Do they have a zoo? I don't even know.
It's Boston. I'm sure they have a zoo. It's Boston. Santa Ana here in California has a zoo. I don't know what to tell you, Stace.
I know they have an aquarium. I don't know. I feel like
a tiger fish then. A tiger fish.
Yeah. Someone tell us if they have a zoo in Boston, because I've been to Boston and I don't remember there being a zoo other than Fenway.
Got him. Hey. Stace, I wanted to I don't know how to say grievance, but a worry I have. I'm very worried that Estevan Florial here in this series is going to push really hard. And I'm worried that he is going to be, the moment's going to get too big for him. He had a nice game too. Looked overpowered in game 1. Struck out on a lot of changeups there in his last at bat with runners on second and third. I don't know. I'm just worried about Flo here. I really hope he shows up. I know we've talked about him 3 days in a row here at this point, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's the storyline I'm following at this point.
Yeah, locked on Estevan Florial. Yeah,
Florial. You're sounding like John now.
I know.
Let me know in the comment section. You guys worried about him too? Like I'm just so rooting for him so hard right now. Like I want him to do well so bad. And hey, driving in that game time run was nice. I'll take that, man. Good stepping stone. Hopefully he has a little bit more left in the tank over the next couple of weeks. Hey, tomorrow's show, again, every Yankees injury this season. We're going to talk about all of them. List them out for you during tomorrow's show. And of course, we're going to recap game 3 in Boston. Thank you guys so much for clicking this late in the season, following this team, following us. We really appreciate it. All the love in the world to Locked On Yankees listeners. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. We'll see you tomorrow.